Very excited to talk to you. One of the things that I definitely wanted to go into was, I am a Derek, so I
Love it.
understand. I understand the ups and downs of being a Derek and all those things as well. So I want to ask, when it comes to being a Derek, what was the conversation like? And was there a specific writer that writes for Derek? Because it seems like a Derek would know a Derek a little bit, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it is funny. The only thing I can, well, the one thing is that you can touch the couple things. My favorite thing about the show is that the writers have written every character so clearly that when you hear their voice, you know immediately who they are. There's no like sometimes they'll get in a room and anybody could be saying certain lines. In this show, that is never the truth. It's so specifically written to one character. Bill Lawrence has said openly that there's a lot uh, of him in Derek and in their relationship. Can you hear me?
I can, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I was trying to get a separate recording going, but
No, I
we're,
had a
we're recording.
weird beep. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
sorry.
yeah, so there's a lot of Bill in Derek, and so I know that Bill has sort of the fault line of that's right or that's wrong, that's true, that's not true. As far as one writer, because they're so magnanimous, nobody would come up and say it. No one will take credit for uh, for Derek because it's an amalgamation of everything.
When it comes to him as well, I think there's a lot of levels too for him because he can be the guy they need, but I think especially with this season, we see that. He's human as well. There's things that hurt him as well. Yeah, no matter how much water goes off a duck's back, eventually there's going to be too much water, I guess. So, how did that kind of feel when you kind of started reading that into this in this season?
Yeah, it was super exciting to get to show that Derek is deeper than what we've previously seen. Even though I think Liz understands that Derek, she understands who Derek is, uh, sort of off the ice when they get home and they close the door, and their relationship is real there. And so now it's fun to let everyone else see kind of what Liz is seeing and what his family sees and see who Derek is. Of course, as an actor, these are amazing moments and things to play. I was devastated when I read it that she was going to step out on him, and I just thought, oh no. Uh, but that pain that I felt, I knew I could put in immediately, and that's really rich space to work in. And I'm I'm just honored to be a part of the show in any way, honestly.
Well, and that's the thing. As much as there's comedic stuff, it's based upon real personalities and real people out there too, and people who are broken in their own way too. So I guess how do you see when it came just the title of shrinking and therapist and everything too. And how do you see that reflecting onto the cast itself or the characters themselves? Because it is almost like they're all kind of doctors to themselves, or their friends are their own doctors, even if they are real doctors or not.
Well, that's such a multifaceted question you just mentioned. There's so many parts of that. I'm amazed of the reaction by the community of shrinks and therapists that watch this show and how deeply they get involved in conversations, excuse me, about this show and how so and so goes way past the boundaries of what the norm is, how we would never do that, and yet they watch, every bit of it. And it is the thing that I think what I've learned from the show is that we all need some kind of therapy, and sometimes your therapy is your spouse or your best friend or someone, but you need someone to talk to. You need someone to hear you, and you need someone to understand and just listen to where you're coming from. And all of us, that's us. That's the human condition, that we all suffer pain, we all have hurt, we all have joy, we all have love, fall out of love, and we are just living in this space. We're human. And so if you can find some place, someone to talk to, you're never alone, and you have a shot. And I think that's what I've gotten from this show. And I think the cast feels the responsibility to to make sure that everyone feels that.
So, I'm running out of time a little bit, but I do want to give something to the rest of the people out there, especially following that thought. Can you do the thing, look into the camera and do the thing as they say this season?
Derek, come on. I'm just going to say this. Whatever it is, everything's going to be okay. Even for you, Derek.
That's it's so funny how that is too, and I want to feel in some way as a Derek too. I feel that I'm also someone who kind of helps heal other people too, and kind of like
Good.
just goes with the flow too. So I think they picked an appropriate name there as well. Is there any specific rules that they've told you about Derek or anything you built into his history himself? Because I feel like Derek has gone through a bunch of stuff to get to where he is too, and maybe he
Yes.
might have been this way through most of his life. But there's also a point where Derek's just like, I'm here. I'm good. Let's
I
go
was
belt
just having
shopping.
this conversation that I see Derek as an iceberg. So the world sees just the tip of Derek, and that Derek has this massive foundation that he has earned and developed and stands on. And I think it's beautiful. And people are chipping away. That's the human condition. However, uh, I think Derek's job is to be sunshine, to be the warmth in a room that is often dark. And that's what I personally grab onto and try to find in a real way. And initially, when I first started playing Derek, Bill Lawrence would say to me, because I personally have more of an edge on everything, and Bill would say, nice, it's nice. He's going to say these things that you probably shouldn't say, but it's all nice. And so from that day forward, I just stayed with that, and that was a perfect Bill Lawrence direction.
Now, of course, he put you with Krista, who he has used in many ways in his life in acting, but also his life. She's also, a force to be reckoned with as well. So,
Dude.
what was it about working with her that really kind of solidified that relationship? Because she is the fire to his ice. I mean, there's a lot
Yeah,
of that. So
so
how did
true.
that work? How did that relationship kind of just was it from the beginning and the writing just clicked, or was there something that just kind of made sense and you go, I got it now?
No, it's funny. She's a hard read when you first meet her, and I couldn't tell per se if she liked me or she didn't like me, and and so I learned just don't press, just stay back, and she when we started working, we found each other in the work. Like we really the words are so good that the chemistry, if it's there, is gonna come. And that when you're working opposite each other and you're talking about the things we do, oftentimes you can see in someone's eyes the chemistry just comes through. And for myself, it's so easy to work opposite her. She always surprises me. It's never going to be what I thought the reading was going to be or the take was going to be. And so I find that really fun to work opposite, and always uh, exciting and different. And she just is a great partner. And the fact that Bill trusts me enough to put me opposite her says so much for me. I was just so touched that he would trust me enough to work opposite his wife.
Well, very cool. Well, just remember, no matter how many Dereks we add, the original is always the one, the main one. So we'll always come back to you for sure too. So I thank you very much, and we'll talk more Derek in the future, I'm sure. But until then, we'll make sure people really focus a little bit more on Derek's story, because I think that's the fun part of this season as well. But hopefully, we get to see more of Derek and also maybe more Dereks in the future too. So thank you kindly.
Yeah, that's what we need is a third Derek.
At
Yeah,
a certain point, we'll break the space time continuum. But until then, we
yeah,
can have a couple Dereks for sure.
yeah.
Well, thank you much.
All right, from the D man. Thank you, buddy.
Be
Appreciate
good.
it.
Thank you much.